everybody.
Oh,
And we are live. Welcome into Genuinely Gina. We have a special guest today, Selena. She has a very important message to get out there. And I'm so glad that she came on this channel to get that out in the open because there may be people out there going through something similar. Selena loves people and she does not want anyone to go through what she has went through by herself. You know, we need to be there
mm-hmm.
for one another and love one another because at the end of the day, that and God is all we have. And when we get to that point
Yeah,
where the darkness is all around us and we don't know what to do, you go to God because He knows how you're feeling. He knows how hurt you are. He knows everything that goes through your mind. And He is there to help you. You just have to, He's just a prayer away. And in this life, we have to hang on to that hope because that's all we have. This world is full of a lot of things, and some of them are not exactly the ideal situations. And we need that peace, we need that love that only God can bring us. So I am so
yeah,
glad you're here, Selena. I think
absolutely.
through your testimony that, and I know this is one of the reasons why you really, really wanted to be here, that and you love me. Thank you. Mwah. Wanted to be here because you
Yes.
want to put that message out there about things. There may have been someone in your very spot in what you went through and what happened, the events that happened after that. And we're so glad
Yeah.
you're here. When I started this channel, I wanted it to be a channel of healing, hope, and love. And sometimes we do need to reach out to people as human beings because, like I said, the Lord is with us and He promises never to leave us. And He has prepared a home for us. And He would not have said that if it hadn't been so. So, Selena, have you been busy today? I know you had an auction. Was it last night or is it today that you're going to be with Scooter and
Today I have one. I've been gathering up stuff and I've been fiddle farting. I've been decorating and playing and stuff and praying. I've been praying this up. Want the God. I want God to lead, and because through His grace, I'm making it.
Amen.
Through His grace,
Amen.
I'm making it, and I want Him to be in my midst as I talk about this because I'm shaking. It's not easy to talk about.
I know, honey,
Um,
and I know that, honey. It's so hard, and I thank you so much for being here. But I think not only will it help you, it will help other people that to get that message out there about yes, there's tragedy, but God's with you. He, like the footprints in the sand. Before we get started, I'm going to have a prayer for you, especially for you, Selena, because I know how hard this is for you, but I know that you have a positive message to put out there, and that's what we need today. So, what time
yeah,
is it? And it's 10. But,
yeah.
we've all been to the point where we're like, things happen to us, and we're like, and we cry out to God, God, why is this happening? Why? But we have to understand that God has a plan for all of us. We may not understand it. It may hurt quite a bit, but He does have a plan for us, and He is always in the
Oh yeah.
midst. I've been through some things in my life that, I lost my mother at a very young age, and I was 2 months old. but it was the circumstances surrounding her death. And you know what? I pulled the picture out today. I finally found it. But, I was so hurt by what happened. I tucked her picture away. It's like you love somebody, but it hurts so bad
Hmm.
that you try to push it aside, she was my
Yeah,
mother.
but you can't do it. You gotta walk through it.
My mother had not had the best
Unfortunately.
of lives because of my father and what he was doing.
Hmm.
And, I know she loved us children, and there was a crime committed.
Hmm.
And I always felt like something was taken from me, and I was a baby. I was 2 months old. And,
Yeah.
I know the emotions that people feel. You feel sorrow, anger, and all of it. And
I felt that way when my son was murdered.
oh my goodness,
I had a
Selena.
3-month old son murdered. So yeah, I understand
Oh my
that
goodness.
taken away from you, and yeah. So
But
I get what you're saying. I
we
understand.
were never taken to where she was buried. It was like she was buried. And
Yeah,
and
it's awful.
here's the sad part. When I finally caught up, we was kept away from my mother's side of the family. And when I did catch up with them, I found it took me 30 years to find out where my mother was buried. And when I went to the
Mm.
cemetery, I was looking for her, so I went to that little place. They have a building on site where they hold the records. And I asked them about it, and they said, "Ma'am, are you sure that's what her name is?" And I said, "Absolutely." So they got to looking. I told him her first name. He got to looking deeper, and she was buried under Ganther. Now, no funeral home or anybody makes a mistake like that.
Hmm.
Someone wanted to commit a crime, bury my mother, and think that it was, and sweep that under the rug and think that that was okay to protect them. And it's really sad. And I don't really know if my dad was
Mercy.
responsible for her death, but everything points to that. I may never know until I leave this earth and God reveals that to me. And there's just so much emotion, and it's really hard. I When you can't even take out a picture of someone because it brings back a lot of memories and a lot of why did this happen? Why wasn't I taken to my mother's grave? And I had to seek it out myself. My God, she was a human being. And somebody wanted to sweep that under the rug because funeral homes don't make
Yeah.
mistakes. So somebody really wanted to hide their
Yeah.
crime. Like I said, I don't know if he was
No.
responsible
No.
when he left this earth. He probably paid the price if he was responsible, and I may never know. But you know what? When I leave this earth, all my questions
Mm-hmm.
that I've had all my life since I was a child will be revealed to me, and I'm sure of it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I wanted Selena to come on to tell her story and give her testimony.
Yeah.
And I want to say a prayer first for Selena and read something before we get started. So, dear Heavenly Father, we know that Selena has been through so much in her life, and you were there with her, but through her sorrow, she really couldn't see that. But you were with her the whole way, and I believe she does know that. Be with her, Lord, as she gives her testimony, because I know it's very emotional for her. And I'm so pleased that she was willing to come on this channel and give this testimony. I think the outreach of it will touch many people, and some people may find peace and hope from this testimony. So, what I'm going to read. This is so, I felt like this was so, hey Angie, welcome in, sweetheart. I felt this was so relevant to the situation, and it's called Footprints in the Sand by Mary Stevenson. One night I had a dream. I dreamed I was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from my life. For each scene, I noticed two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to me and the other to the Lord. When the last scene of my life flashed before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. I noticed that many times along the path of my life there was only one set of footprints. I also noticed that it happened at the lowest and saddest times in my life. This really bothered me, and I questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said once that I decided to follow you, you would walk with me all the way. But I have noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there is only one set of footprints. I don't understand why, when I need you the most, you would leave me. The Lord replies, welcome in, Deb. My precious child, I love you and would never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you see only one set of footprints, it was then I carried you. And I felt like this was so appropriate. And I wanted to read that. And I wanted to have a prayer for Selena because this is a very emotional thing for her. But I know the Lord will give her strength
Hmm.
to. And I told Selena, don't leave anything out. You say what you feel, what's in your heart. Don't leave anything out. And I know she will. So I'm going to bring Selena up. A lot of you know Selena's story, some of you do not. But for those who do know it, I felt like that it was worthy of emulation because it is without a doubt a story of faith, love, and God. So we're going to bring Selena up. Selena, I'm going to bring you up because after I do this, let me add the stage. Okay, no, we're not going to do that. Come on now. There we go. And there's Miss Selena. And thank you so much for coming on. You have the floor. Tell them everything that's in your heart. Thank you again.
Can you see me? Because
You're a little bit lagging. I can see.
start with a a gift. Yeah, it's acting up. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Come
honey,
back
I can
in.
see you. Thank you.
Okay. Um, I wanted to start with gift from God on earth. Um, I'm going to talk about my oldest grandson real quick about Rylan. Um, he was born with stage 4 renal failure, and when he was born, we were told that he was going to have a kidney transplant. And this will make sense as I go along why I'm starting right here. And it devastated every one of us. We was like, he may not make it. When he was born, he wasn't even breathing. And I remember them I was looking at Stevie, and I heard the nurses and the doctor saying, we got to go. He ain't breathing. So they got in there into the NICU. When they were fixing to call it, the neighbor mom said that they said time of death, and then Rylan started breathing. And fast forward, I have been my daughter's prayer warrior because in that time of going through that, she was angry and couldn't pray for herself. So I had to be her prayer warrior as well as her I don't know, shoulder that she needed. The first year of Ryland's birth was really hard. He's had 32 surgeries. He had rickets. He had 22 broken bones. At 2 years old, um, he was gifted a kidney from a 19-year-old boy named Benton who wanted to be an organ donor. Okay, I'm talking about this is because God gave us a gift of life to Ryland. We thought that that was going to be our darkest time in our lives. That what we've had to go through with Ryland would be the toughest thing we've ever had to go through. Besides me losing my son, this is through a view of a grandmother. And then, boy, was I forever wrong. Um, June the 12th, I was on my way. I was actually supposed to be on Gina's a couple of days later. And I was doing some stuff and grabbing stuff and trying to get everything ready. And I had to go to my son's. Well, we got to the driveway and Ryland called and was screaming that his sissy was not breathing. And, you don't prepare yourself for that. That was not kind of sinking in, but yet it was sinking in. I started screaming over at the road. You could hear me screaming. And I didn't know what was going on. We were told to get to the hospital. And so we got to the hospital, and she was coming by ambulance. And she drowned.
It's okay, Selena. Just take all the time you need, sweetheart. I know this is difficult. We all love you out here.
When they told me, we were in this special room, and we knew the nurse. Her name was Amelia.
Oh, wow.
And she came, and I was like, how long are they going to work with her? I didn't know. We didn't know, how long it took for them to get her back. And they said, honey, they called it. When they did, my brain just checked out. I passed out. It hit my head. And then I started having seizures. When they got me to a room and got me stable, I remember begging, God, please take me instead. Please take me instead. I have had a life. I didn't want her to go. She was 2 years old. And they got me straight. They got me settled and got me where they could release me. And they allowed us to see her before they took her. When she was born, I made up a song. I make up a lullaby for every one of my grandbabies. I have 10. Oh. And hers is Amelia Marie, sweet as can be. I love you and your brothers too. And I would just sing it to her every night. And she would dance to it. I've got videos of her dancing to it. Well, she was there. And I went in there. And I got her. And I just touched her curls. And just, and I sung her lullaby. And then I kissed her. And then I had to leave. And they took her. When we got to see her again, she was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. She looked so beautiful. She had her little pigtails and her little curls. She had ringlets of curls. And the day we buried her, All kinds of craziness happened. My daughter was kicked out of her home, and this is the night we buried her. And I was like, my daughter's not, she's not wanting, she was in such a state, she didn't even want to live. I'm listening to all kinds of stuff on the phone. And I'm hearing my daughter, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do all this. This is just too much for me. And I'll get back to where that's going to come to, because I want to talk about that a little bit more. But so Sunday, last Sunday, not just last Sunday, but the week before, I get a phone call at 4:00 in the morning from my daughter. And I'm telling you, if you're a mama, you know when you get those phone calls late that night, it makes your heart sink. And then I see it's Stevie, and my heart sinks even more, because I know what kind of place she's in. And she's in a dark place, you know. And she said, Mama, she said, I saw her. She said, I saw Sissy. She came to me in a dream. She said, Mama, she's so beautiful. Said her curls are perfect. They're not frizzy from the heat. They're just beautiful, and they're longer. And she had pigtails, and because she always had her hair in pigtails or ponytails. And said her curls were just absolutely perfect. And she said, Mama, she was more beautiful than she was on the earth. She said, I didn't think that that could be possible, but she was so beautiful. And she was warm, and I held her. And she said, Baby, I'm so sorry. And she said, Mommy, I love you. It's not your fault. And she said, but I don't want to go with you. And she said, Baby, you're not going to go with me. I'm not taking you with me. And she was with a lady, an older lady. She said, I didn't look at her face, Mama, because I was concentrating on Amelia. And I said, that's okay, honey. That's okay. And she said, Baby, I'm not taking you. And she said she laughed and jumped and done a little swirl, and was just jumping and happy because her mama wasn't going to take her. And she said, Baby, will you visit your daddy and your brother? And she went, Yes, Mommy, I will. And she said, I've got to go. I've got to go and find. I've got to go find Elizabeth and bring her home. And she said, I'll see you soon, Mommy. And I love you. We was like, I don't know who Elizabeth is. We were racking our brain on who was Elizabeth. This is 5:00 in the morning by this time. And then she called her best friend, or her best friend called her that morning and said that her grandmother had passed. Her name was Elizabeth. And I said, that can't be a coincidence. She must have went and helped that lady come home. And my mom, whenever I told her, I said, write everything down. And she said, I'm sorry I didn't ask about you all and stuff. I said, it wasn't meant for us. It was meant for you to talk to your daughter and let you know that your daughter is okay and that she don't want to come back to this place. And she wouldn't. She wants to be there because heaven is that precious. Mm-hmm. Heaven is where there is no suffering, where there's no sorrow. It's just a beautiful place that you can go and love your God and worship Him with the ones that you left before you. just rejoice in his name for eternity.
Amen, Selena. And heaven is very real. And if your testimony that you just gave doesn't convince people, I don't know what would. I mean, heaven is absolutely real.
To have a baby not want to go with his mama and wanted to stay there, it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. And but I'm telling you, I can understand where people who get to that point to where they want to not be here anymore. I can understand that because I was there when Amelia passed. So much was going on at that moment with not only us losing our granddaughter, but all this other stuff that was going on. And my daughter telling me, she didn't want to be here. And I tell you, my living room got dark. It got dark, and I had 4 lamps on, and it got dark. And the devil started messing with me and saying, now, you going to leave that baby up there by yourself? Why don't you go be with her? You won't have to worry about this no more. I'm telling you, I can tell that the devil can mess with you in your darkest hour and get you thinking about things. And I had the gun. I could not find the bullets anywhere. Could not find them. I got desperate because I know that was the Lord.
Absolutely.
Get on YouTube. What? Get on YouTube. I got on YouTube. I went to Kim's. And I just was telling them how I truly felt. And I put my number in there. And Lucy called me. And we talked. And I tell you, as we talked, the room got lighter. And I could feel the darkness leave. And I know. And I'll forever be grateful to her. She was my angel. And I know God was like, nope, she's mine. Nuh-uh. You're not taking her. She's mine. I know where I'm going. I know that I am a child of God. I know I've been reborn. I know what he does for me daily. And if you ever feel that darkness, don't sit on it. Because that's exactly what the devil wants you to do, is to sit on it.
Absolutely.
And you find somebody and talk to them. I don't care. I'll put my number in the chat. I don't care. If you need to talk to somebody day and night, I don't care. I'll talk to you. Because I understand now completely what that darkness feels like. And that despair. And you think that there is no other way out. And, everybody that I am friends with on YouTube, you know what they've been? They've been that prayer warrior when I couldn't be that prayer warrior for myself. Just like I was whenever my daughter was going through with Rylan. Well, she couldn't be her prayer warrior, and I had to be. And that's what my friends have been to me. They've been my prayer warriors when I couldn't. And I still struggling because even though I know now I'm at peace that she's okay. I'm at peace with that. And she's happy. But I miss her. I miss her curls. I miss putting her hair up in ponytails. I miss her saying, Mimi, what you do? Knowing that she done something, because that's what she would say whenever she got doing something she wasn't supposed to. Like she painted herself blue, and she came in there and was like, Mimi, what you do? And I'm like, Mimi didn't do that. You didn't go tell on me for that. The things like that I miss. And then I have to be strong for my daughter and my husband and my boys and the other grandbabies. And I don't feel like I get to breathe. And I hurt because I can't, because I have to be strong for everybody else. But I tell you, some days it's hard. I have a fear of losing one of my other grandbabies. And I know that's the devil trying to mess with me. And there's where there's where my prayer warriors would be coming in and saying, I got you. And it's crazy that you saying that you read the footprints in the sand, because when my daddy died, before he died, he said that. He read that. It was up in his bathroom, and we never knew why. And he said, "You know why that's in there? Because when I feel like I'm in despair with this cancer, I read it, and I know that's when God's carrying me." So it's crazy that you put me crazy. It's godly that you read that first, because that was significant in my life through what I went through with my dad. And but never feel like you're alone. You're not alone. Because that's exactly what happens when you don't feel like you have anybody in the world. That's what God's carrying you. And that's when He gives you peace and lets you know you're okay. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I sin every day. I ask every day for God to forgive me, because no one of us are perfect. We all sin. But it's the thought that that you have done it. And it's the knowing that you need to go to your God and ask for forgiveness. And it's the being earnest, honest and earnest, two different things. Being earnest with God and saying, I messed up, but I love you and I want to do better. And I want to be better. But that's a daily thing, because the flesh wants to sin. The flesh wants to be that way. But it's the knowing that you want God to help you through it and make it through another day until He call you home. Um, you know, like I said, we thought that we went through it with Rylan. I'm telling you, that was just a gift from God. And Amelia was a blessing from heaven, you know? And
Hey, Jason, honey, welcome in. Go ahead and collect your. You've really said a lot, Selena, and I know God has given you that strength to get through this. Just take your time, sweetheart. We all love you, Selena. God is was definitely with you, and we know that devil. Now he will push your buttons, especially when you are at your lowest hour, and he will work with that to try to get you to do something to steal your inheritance in heaven.
oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, he's a thief. He wants to steal, kill, and
Yes,
destroy.
that's
And
right.
that's exactly what he wanted to do. But my God is stronger. He has reign on this earth, but God allows this. It's through the grace that God gives us that we
Absolutely.
see through it and get through the other side. Our God is more mightier than the devil
That's
can
right.
even think about. But the thing about it is whenever we're in that point where we're in this dark hour, that's why you need to wrap yourself around Christian people, people that have
Right.
faith, people that believe in what God has done for us and does for us and will do for us. You've got to keep yourself surrounded by those people, because all it does is it gives you nourishment. It feeds you. It keeps you fed up, that you can go another day and fight the devil off and say, okay, I can do this through Jesus that's in me. I can do this. I'm telling you, God will moves in mighty ways, in things that you don't even think you can get through. You can get through Him. Um,
Sorry about that.
it's an amazing, beautiful gift that He gave my daughter by letting her know her daughter was okay.
Yes.
and that she would be seeing her again. It made my daughter say, I don't feel like killing myself anymore. She said, I want to live for God, win souls for Him, and see my daughter again one day. And and she knows she never was angry with God, though. She never blamed God for taking her daughter or nothing. She just wanted to be closer to Him. And that don't always happen. When my
Mm-mm.
son, when my son was murdered, I was angry. I was angry. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand why. How could somebody hurt a 3 month old?
Oh
How
my
can you?
goodness.
I don't. I couldn't understand it. But I was there when that baby took his first breath, and I was there holding him when he took his last. And that there was also a blessing of God's love by allowing me to do that, by allowing me to be there with him when he took his last breath. I mean, that was a blessing too. There's
Bless.
little blessings throughout my life that I don't understand, that I understand now as I get older, that was blessings from God. That
Oh,
was kisses. That was our kisses that He gives us and stuff that we don't think we're going to be able to get through, and we do.
oh
But
yeah.
this is fresh. It's been 8 weeks now. It's still
Yeah.
fresh.
Oh yeah.
And today is Rylan was struggling because she always greeted him when he came home from school. Hi, Rylan. I remember that so clearly because I was right there. Hi, Rylan. And he said, Mimi, she ain't gonna be there. I said, I know, honey, but she's there in your heart. And I've been like, God, please give me the proper words to talk to him about this and help him through this, because he's 9 years old. And he's like, I don't understand. I've been sick my whole life. And but then my sissy goes, and I'm like, God's got big plans for you, baby. You're not meant to leave yet. He's got a plan for you. But continue to pray for me and my family. And like I said, if you ever have any doubts or fears, or if you just need somebody to pray, I don't care if I'm in an auction. I'll stop that auction right there and start praying for you right then. I don't care. Money does not matter to me. It is it is people that need me to help them because they can't help themselves at that moment. And they need prayer. I don't care. I've done it before and I will do it again. If you need me in the middle of a night, I don't care. I'll give you my number. You call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll answer that phone and I'll talk to you. Or I won't talk. We won't talk at all. We'll just hold the phone. It don't matter. But never feel like you are alone, because there's people around that care and people that will help you through it. Because God's got angels on this earth. I'm not no angel. I am nowhere near it. But I do know His love, and I do know what He's done for me, and I do know that He has saved my soul. And I don't care to help you through it. But there are angels on this earth that help people and guide them. Um, I don't want it, and it won't be me. It will be through God. I'm nothing, nothing. But through God, I'm something. You know, I'm a
Amen,
child of
sweet.
His, and that's
Amen.
something. And just remember, you are something. You know, no matter what, you are something. Through His eyes, you are precious,
Right,
and you are a
because
gift.
he loved us from the very beginning and he loves us now. And that's the way it is. Pam brought up something about a verse in Isaiah, verse number 10, and I feel like it's so pertinent to this situation. So we're in Isaiah 41, the 10th verse. Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So, you know, And like Selena was saying, Satan, he will grab a hold of you by the scruff of your neck while you are in your lowest hour, and he wants nothing better to see you not to be able to claim your inheritance, and that's heaven.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like this was so, people need to know these things. And, you know, God does send people to us in our dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And for Selena's daughter to be able to see her daughter, feel her daughter, and kiss her and tell her that she loved her was so immeasurable, especially when her daughter was in that dark hour where people, the Satan comes in. Oh, go ahead and do it. No one
Mm-hmm.
cares about you. No one loves you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not worthy. And I say, yes, you are. God says you're worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jason, it will help heal the heart, because I know it was going to be difficult for Selena, and I love you so much, Selena, for coming on here. Because when I developed this channel, this right here is the outreach that I wanted to put out there, because there is hope. And Deb says, how do you get through the night, Selena?
I just tell God I can't. I tell you, I told God in there in that hospital room, whenever I stopped having seizures, I said, God, I cannot do this alone. I'm going to have you because I just can't bear to bury that baby. And I'm going to have to be, you're going to have to be with me. And I just call out to him, God, I can't do it tonight. I need you. Give me peace. Give me your grace. And that's what I do. And then, I also find people and I just talk to them, you know. And if I can't talk to people, then I pick, you know, I read my Bible. And
Right,
I
because
just,
God does speak through people through the Bible. And God did not say that this earth was going to be a walk in the park. He didn't say that. And things happen, and He wants you to have that faith to come to Him. Yeah, Selena, Jason wants you to have a cell phone number. Is that okay? And Laura, would you do that, please? Just don't do it on here, because Jason's a private person and he doesn't, what I'm talking about. And Jason is a very loving person, Selena. You'll love him just like I do. And he's just an amazing person. And this is what we need to do on YouTube, period. When you see someone that is hurting and they're at their wits' end, reach out to them. It's not hard. Send
no.
them an email, say, hey, you know, I heard what you said. I'm praying for you. You're not alone. Don't ever think you're alone. Don't go to that dark place, because let me tell you, what Selena testified to in that darkness is very real.
Yeah.
And the moment that Selena made that got that phone call from that person, the light came back in, and that was the Lord working through that person. And he did,
Because you can
yeah,
get out of you ain't in your right mind. You're not in your right mind when you're thinking of ending it. You're not in your right mind. And that's the way the devil creeps in. I can understand now the despair and the thing that he can maneuver you, and God's warmth. He's like, nope, Satan, no, you're not getting her today. She's mine.
that's right. Because Satan, like you said, he is the destroyer. He will devour you if you let him. And
Yeah,
if and you'll know when he's around, and that's when you need to start praying. God knows he's there too, so he's not as sneaky as he thinks he is.
yeah.
And Deb said she still struggles at night. So, Deb, we're going to pray for you. I don't know what your situation is. God knows, and it's God knows the pain, the fear, the
Email
anxiety.
me, Deb, and
Yeah,
if you want to. I'm not pushing
yeah.
nothing on anybody, but my email's right there. Email me if you need to talk. Hey, I'll listen. I'll
Amen,
do whatever.
Angie. Satan was defeated when Jesus Christ was killed on that cross on Calvary's Hill.
Yeah,
Deed was done, the victory was won, but we still got to deal with Satan.
yeah, yep.
He's already been defeated, but he just wants to take everyone down with him.
Yes.
He wants to cheat you out of an eternity in a place where there's no tears, there's no sorrow, there's beauty, there's happiness, there's rejoicing, and he wants to steal that from you.
Mm-hmm. Like a song, what a day that'll be when my Jesus I shall see, when I look
Yeah,
upon his face, the one that saved me by his grace.
yeah. Amen.
Yep. That's I used to sing that in church, that song. And
Hey,
it's,
Josie, sweetheart, welcome in.
hey Joe.
So much. But we have hope through Jesus Christ. We have the hope that after the trials of this life is over, there's a reward there for us that cannot compare to anything on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
You can't really wrap your head around all the precious things that are really awaiting us. You can't put your head around it. Not
Right,
really. Because our brains can't work that way. It's going to
right.
be so magnificent. It's just you can't put your head around it.
No, you really can't. The only ones that know are the ones that went to heaven that have gone on before us. So,
Mm-hmm.
that gives us, it gives us hope, and I hope it gives you peace to know that everything you're going through right now, and like Selena says, we sin every day, and that's all of us, every
Mm-hmm.
last one of us. But you know what? You go to him and say, "Look, God, the devil's been working on me, and he's put these things in my mind. Please remove him, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to deal with him. He wants to
Get
still
behind thee, Satan.
get behind me and put that armor of God on,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we really need. That's why I entitled this live like I did, in a question form, because it makes people curious.
And we also need to stay humble.
Exactly.
You need to humble yourself and know that, well, I humble myself. I know I'm not no better than anybody else. I am just nothing, but in God's eyes I'm something. And while I'm here on this earth, if I can tell you, you know what? You see me every time you see me put hearts. I have a pink heart
Mm-hmm.
now because of Amelia, and green hearts is because of Rylan and his kidney journey. But
Mm-hmm.
when I put those in there, I want you to know how special you are, because I'm like, Gina, that's my love, to let you know that you are special. Even though you may not feel like you are special. You are also loved in God's eyes. You are, his child. And I want you to know that you are not alone on this earth, and that you are special, because not everybody gets to get that and hear that on a daily basis. There's some people that are stuck in the house and they're by themselves, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't get that love. And what do? They come on this YouTube and they go in these auctions, and that's their only place that they get to talk to people. I want you
Absolutely.
to know how special you are and how glad I'm here to see you. So I will always throw your name up. Hey, da 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 da, heart 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 heart, because I want you to know that you are loved, and you are. I'm glad to see you, that you're there. I mean, it helps me whenever I say, "Hey, Selena, how you doing?"
Hmm.
it touches my heart, because there's times where I go on and I'm feeling that I am nothing, and I know this is the devil, that I'm nothing, and you're not worth anything, and I go through that, and it's not easy, um, so I just want people to know that you're loved, you know through
And Josie was another one that's been really instrumental in Selena's life.
I've
And
known Joe for 6 years.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And right. And Angie said, that's why I always say I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it because I genuinely love everyone, and love is a choice, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Josie,
Because
I keep trying to send you an email with a picture attachment, and my stupid email won't do it. So, what I'm trying to do, and I don't mean to cut you off, Selena,
no, you're
I
fine.
need a thumbnail made for my new channel, and you're absolutely the bomb. Take the picture off of my profile on my new channel name, and if you would please make me a thumbnail because I really stink at it, okay? Love you. Okay, I didn't mean to get that in, but when I saw, didn't mean to overshadow you, Sheena,
No, you're fine.
Selena, but I wanted to get that out there. She makes beautiful thumbnails. And Deb says, Selena, she's going to put you in her prayers. And
Thank you.
Selena's been through far more than what she's witnessed to. I know a little bit, and she's been through a lot. And the reason why Selena is still here because God does love her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
He has, like it said, the footprints in the sand. When you only seen one set of footprints, it is then I carried you.
Yeah.
And Selena's thinking, my dear Lord, why are you testing me this way? I'm sure you thought about it. I know you love God,
I
but
just could. I just, the only thing I really did was just take me instead. Pretty much, just take me instead, please. Just take me instead. That's the only thing. I've not questioned it. I've just asked him to take me instead. That's the most thing I did, was just beg him to take me. And but she ain't gonna go through what we're going through on this earth.
no.
She ain't gonna have this heartache and this pain, and you know.
Mm-hmm.
So really, asking him to take me was probably a selfish thing, because she's in no pain, you
Right.
know. But
And
the flesh is just not wanting to lose a baby. Um,
right.
and I miss her so badly, and that's the thing. They're fine. They're in heaven. It's us that's left here that hurts and that longs for them, because I'm telling you, I miss her so bad. I just would love to just touch her again.
Angie says Selena still has a purpose here on earth because she still has breath in her lungs. And God said, Selena, I'm not through working on you. You ever
Right.
heard that song in your
He's
Bible?
still working on me
He's
to make
still
my
working
life
on
better. Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And Josie said when it's her time, she wants to have you to have a party for
I
her.
know, she's told me that. She said, Selena, don't you dare. Joe's like my mom. My mom was not close to me
Oh my
till
goodness.
recently. My mom's told me my whole life she couldn't help me, that she loved my brother more than me. And Joe was there when I didn't have nobody. And she's helped me through so much. And we've had arguments. I mean, family fights. But we love each other so much that we make up. Um, but Joe has been, I'd give anything, and I am not lying. I'd give anything to be able to hug her. She's in California and I'm in Tennessee, but I would love to just put my arms around her and just hug her little bitty body, because I know she's like my mom. She's about the size of my mom too, and I'm 5'8" and they're around 4 foot something. So, but the best I can do is just tell you all that I love you, and I don't just take that. I don't take the word love lightly.
Mm-mm.
Uh, I take it very serious, and I don't just say it just to be, oh, I love you too. No, no, you are breathing. You are loved. You are. You're my sister and my brother. And um, in God's eyes, we are family, and
Yeah.
we should feel that way on earth, and we should surround ourselves with people of God, because
Mhm.
what it does is just gives us a boost for the next day, for the next hour. Right now, my life, I'm going minute by minute because I'm grieving. And I'm going to also be getting some counseling. So that's going to help too. I know it does because it helped me through my dad. But but you're right. I've been through quite a bit in my life, but God seemed fit for me to be here another day. And I'm grateful to that. I'm grateful that I came on and that you asked me, because if I can reach one person and let them know that they're not alone in their darkest hour, they are still not alone, then
Right.
maybe that's what God wants me to do, you know?
Yes, God has a purpose and he works through people just like Satan does.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Life is too short to spend it being hateful, scheming,
Mm-hmm.
conniving, and trying to hurt other people. And I've seen this on YouTube.
I'm telling you, I'm as country as cornbread. What you see is
Hey,
what
that's
you get.
okay.
Get as goofy as I am. I am.
You are not goofy.
I'm a mess up as I am. I am who I am. I mess up, butcher words. But that's okay. That's okay. It's funny. I laugh because it's. I mean, the other day, instead of, I thought I was trying to spell out cuckoo clock and messed it up royally. Tried to make it fancy, and it was just cuckoo clock. I laughed so hard at myself, but it's okay to laugh at yourself.
Right.
As long as you're having fun. My auctions, they're you never know what's going to come out of my mouth, and that's
Mine
okay.
either.
As long as you get enjoyment and have a good time, that's all that matters. Because, like I said, there are some people on this in this that are they're homebound, and they don't have people, and they don't have that joy and stuff. So if I can make you laugh, make you think, I'm all about it. That's fine with me. I done my purpose for the day. I
Yeah,
just
and
am
just
grateful for people to
that
cut and help me.
you will touch so many more. That's what this channel was developed for, to give people hope and know there is much more than this life and this earth that we live on.
Yeah.
And Jesus is coming back. We don't know the time nor the hour. He's coming back. And I'm sure when he looks down here and sees all the things going on, that it saddens him, but he will have the last word. And
I fear him daily. I fear the
yes,
Lord in a good way. You know what I'm
and it,
saying?
right, and which
I
is,
fear him.
just like my situation, I was able to. I'm telling y'all, I was able to share a picture, and I found it up here in this menagerie. And I was looking for something, and I was just digging through stuff, and I really wanted to share her picture, and I finally found it. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what, you guys? She passed when I was a baby, and there's a lot of circumstances around her passing, and I could not even put my mother's pictures out because it was so painful, because there's still mystery surrounding her death. My dad never spoke of her, and we were afraid to talk about her.
That's so sad.
It took me 30 years to find out where my mother was buried, and when I did, she was buried under the wrong last name. Now, who did that? It was like here someone very precious to me was buried. No one would take us to her grave, swept under the carpet. So, like I told Selena, I don't know what happened, only the Lord does. And my mother was in her 20s when she died, and she had children. And I felt like something was taken from me, and the pain was so incredibly intense, I could not even put her picture out because
Did
it
it
was so painful, you
did
know.
it change your life as you was growing older? Did it affect your life like in some crazy ways that you may have been different if it would have been different with you? Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you for instance, and I can't this is hard to say, but I was raped when I was 5 from my biological grandfather.
Oh my
I
goodness.
was gang raped at 7 by a bunch of older boys on the street. And I felt that I was dirty. And I felt that I deserved every single thing that came my way. The beatings I got from my ex husband, I felt I deserved them. I felt like I was dirty and just unclean and impure, and that God would never love me. And it was not my fault. I know that now, but it affected my whole life until I was
Right.
saved. And when I got saved, that's when I met my husband, Sam. I had
Hmm.
done went through 2 marriages. I had 2 babies, and when I got saved, though, that's when God, my life was different. But that's why I was asking, did it change your life knowing that your mom, what you went through with your mom?
Well, I used to be a very quiet person, a to myself person. And when I hit my 20s, I'm like, you know, no more am I going to let things affect my life. I'm going to stand up there and I'm going to speak up.
Yeah,
I knew I was a good person. I knew I had a lot to give. I was quiet. I was withdrawn. And, you know, life is a series of events. My dad never told his children where our mother was buried. There's
hmm,
4 of us. And it and you're like, how dare you take something from me?
yeah,
My mother is gone, and and we were afraid to talk about it. Like I said, I don't know if he was guilty, but the good Lord knows, and one day I'm sure it will be revealed. And it
see,
comes.
when
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, go ahead. When
It
I
comes.
was Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
You go ahead, I'll go next.
We come to a point in our life, people, that we get tired of being run over. We get tired of being lied to.
Yeah,
We're just over it.
yeah,
And I know the Lord has walked with me through everything. And I just became that strong, resilient lady. I'm still loving, but I can get snippy.
yeah,
Trust me. But I just felt like, here my mother's gone. You won't even tell me where she's buried. What's up with that? And I did find her.
yeah,
And it was like, how dare you? That is my mother.
yeah,
And you were so selfish that you didn't even think to take us to where our mother was buried. How dare you?
yeah.
And I know that sounds harsh.
Well, you
You're
know,
welcome, Jason, sweetie.
just before I was, just before me and Sam got together,
Hmm.
my ex husband broke in on me and me and my oldest boy was at home. Stevie was at my mom's, and I opened up the door and he charged me, and he attacked me and he broke my jaw. He put his hand underneath my mouth, underneath my tongue, and was breaking, till he
Oh,
broke my jaw. And he said, "Watch," and he told my son, "Watch while I kill your mom." And I did. I was like, I've got to fight. And I had stage 2 cancer. I was going through that. And I was like, God, you know, I've got to fight, to live. And he choked me out. I come to, and I was like, I need water, and he blocked the back front door because that was the only way you could get in and out. The back door was stuck and you couldn't open it. I mean, you had to beat on it to get it out. God told me, go out the back door. This happened so fast. And I'm like, I looked at Eric and he's like, I've got him. Go to the back door. And I'm thinking, the door ain't going to open. Now, this all happened very fast, but this is how I can speak it. I ran and he come after me, but I got to the back door and it just opened and I jumped out and I ran up to my mom's and I had blood coming out of my mouth, out of my nose. I had my eyes were almost closed shut. And I was like, go get Eric. But it was by the grace of God I got out of there and he didn't kill me that night.
Oh my goodness.
There's so many things in my life that I'm like, I don't understand how I'm still here. But I can also understand where you can be in your darkest hour and the devil gets you. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed with having Sam. I'm blessed with having my friends. I'm blessed with my family. But I can understand where people can be and feel like there's no way out and there's no I forgave, and it's hard to forgive somebody who tries to kill you. And I forgave him.
Absolutely.
I forgave him. And what's crazy is he ended up dying young. And he had to do prison time for kidnapping and assault. But he ended up dying of cancer. The same thing as I was having to go through. And when he came in and beat me up, but it ended up taking his life. And I thought that was crazy that happened that way,
Well,
But I prayed for him. I prayed when I found out he was sick that God he seeked God before he died, and they said he got saved about 30 minutes before he died.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was my dad was an alcoholic and he was abusive. Yes, he was. And the only time you could really get along with him was when he was drinking. But when I caught up with my mother's side of the family, he would lay out all night and drink. And then he'd come home. The only way my mother she had babies to take care of. The only way that she would let him in is if he slid his wallet under the door. That's all. And Selena, that's another thing. Maybe this is in my heart. Maybe it's something that I need to pray about. He's buried about 12 miles from my house.
Mm-hmm.
And for the exception of doing that video on that pigeon roost, I cannot go up to his gravesite. And I know it's wrong. I know I need to pray about it. But
it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's just so hard for me to do that. I mean, I love him in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that mystery. What happened? I just, sometimes to protect our emotions, we do things like that. We want to get as far away from what triggers those as we possibly can.
Well, I know. And sometimes it messes with you because Sam's like, one day he was just playing around with me and he kind of raised his arm. And when he did, I did this,
Oh my goodness.
And he said, when are you going to get, I'm not him. And it took me 7 years to actually let Sam into my heart, even after we were married, because I had that fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are you going to be him? Are you going to hurt me? Are you going to do this and this? And then when he said, when are you going to get, I'm not him, turned around. Totally turned it around. We've been together 28 years.
When people are abused like that and it stays with you, it's always in the back of your mind. It's always with you. You're always afraid that even though you can trust that person totally, it's still on the back of your mind because
I mean, I was beat in high school. by this same guy. And I ended up going back to him thinking that he changed and married him. And some people's, you can't change them. They have to change for themselves.
Yeah, that's
And yeah, I learned the hard way.
a lot of women think that they're going to change somebody. I'm telling you, the only one that can change them is God themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You cannot be their psychologist.
No.
You can't help them because their problems go deeper than what anyone can imagine.
Yeah.
And a lot of times abuse is passed down through family. Well,
Yeah.
someone may have saw someone abuse someone, a child, and they carry that on because they saw it. The
Yes.
abuser will abuse someone else because that's the only thing they really have ever known, I don't like violence and I don't like negativity of any kind. It just really bothers me. And
Well, what I went through with my childhood, I wanted people to know what now. I that's another reason I wanted to let people know that they're matter. They matter
right,
because I felt like I never mattered and I
yeah,
wasn't good enough or worthy enough. And you know, in God's eyes, I am. I may not be in humans' eyes, and that's okay. I'm not perfect, and I don't claim to be, and but I do try to show love where I didn't have it. You know,
right.
I've never made my kids. The kids are equal loved. No one's not better than the other. I don't love one more than I do the other one. They drive me crazy. All the equals the same,
But
and they give me joy all the same.
this may appear very strange to people, but I had an experience with my sister. She had lived in New York for years and she moved to Indiana. And the oddest part is my stepbrother bought the house that we grew up in when we were kids. His wife picked it out. She had no idea of the connection, so naturally he bought it. And I was over there. It just seemed like there were good memories and there were bad memories. But you know what? I went home and it was like something kept I can't describe it kept nagging at me. And I know this is going to sound off the wall, but there are people that exist that have more perception than other people do, and I know it's a fact.
Yeah.
And you know what? Something kept nagging at me because when my dad passed away, him and my oldest sister, was at odds, and something kept coming to me to tell. It said, "Tell Deborah that I am sorry for what happened." And it kept bugging me until Deborah was over at the house and we was on the swing on the front porch.
Mm-hmm.
And we was talking about things and I said, "Deborah, you're going to think that I've lost my mind." And I said, "Daddy wants you to know that he is sorry for what transponded between the two of you before his death." And then it left me alone.
Mm-hmm.
It kept bugging me. I said, "Okay, okay, okay. I'll tell her."
I think that God puts things into people's hearts and stuff, and things happen that way for people to have closure
Right,
and on earth, because some things just haunt you. You
right.
know, my
I
cousin
just,
came. My cousin, I was supposed to be with my cousin, and she got killed in a car wreck, and I was supposed to be with her that night.
mm-hmm.
Changed my changed my plans 10 minutes before she came, and then her and the boy got killed that night.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
was supposed to be in the car with them, and it eat me alive. My daughter's name, is Michelle, and her name was Lisa Michelle, and I put it together, and that was
Mm-hmm.
Stevie's name. And whenever she came to me and said, "I heard you when you said goodbye, and this is goodbye," and was hugging me, but she was kind of in a hurry of leaving. you know.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up and it was June 27th, and that was the day that she died.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at 2:50 in the morning, and that's the time she got killed.
Oh wow.
I mean, it was years later, but it was like, I think that God knew I needed that, and let her come to me
Mm-hmm.
to give me that peace, because I felt guilty because should have been with her, and I lived,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't, and and after that, I never was depressed about it, never thought about it. I've never dreamed about it since. But
Well, and
that's,
everyone has an expiration date, and when God calls you, you're going,
yeah,
but I was on the porch with my sister, and I said, Deborah, I said, our aunts believe that our dad murdered our mother. She looked me dead in the face and said he did. And you know what? She was 6 years old. And Deborah had a hard life. Deborah was bipolar because she witnessed a traumatic event.
yeah,
But when she told me that, I kind of knew in my heart that that's what happened. But when you hear it, you're in shock. It's like you know what happened, you knew it, and that's why Deborah had the problems that
yeah.
she had.
Well, Eric is three.
She
Was three.
witnessed.
Eric was three whenever we got broken into and beat up. I got beat up. Do you know he still remembers that? He is still overprotective of me, and he is very watch over me and stuff, because he said I won't never forget what that night felt like. And he was three. And I'm like, how can you
Mhm.
remember that? He's 32 now. I said, how can you remember that? He said, Mama, that don't leave you.
It
He
was
said,
very traumatic
that
for him.
was true. Yeah. And he said, that never leaves you. Luckily, he's done good in his life, and he hasn't let it succumb to him. But there's some
Mhm.
people who do, I get it. So I
Right.
hate it for your sister, but I understand
Yeah.
it too.
But there was just some suspicion around there because there was one drop of blood between the door and going out, and that's all there was. And so back then they come in, they deem it a suicide.
Yeah,
My aunt told me they did not have the money to have it investigated because it looked so, so suspicious. And there was a lady that came to my Aunt Louisa's house, and she goes, you know what? She goes, when you was a baby, I wanted to take you so bad, and they wouldn't
mm-hmm.
let me have you. And she was just crying. She goes,
Yeah.
I wanted you so bad, and they wouldn't let me have you. You know,
That was done out of selfishness.
yeah, because he remarried again.
Yeah.
What triggered the whole thing was my dad had another woman pregnant at the same time my mother was pregnant with me, and it got back to her, and she got tired of it. She
Mm-hmm.
left him, and he was probably drinking. He probably come in there and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I don't think Deborah would have made a statement like that unless it was true. She saw it,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and it's just so disturbing. And there's a lot of things that I have to come to terms with, and that's one of them. And I just can't bring myself to go to his grave. I can't do it.
I
Maybe
pray that one day you're able to.
I
One
do.
day you'll be able to, and then get that closure,
Yes.
because it's kind of what it is it's it you deserve that closure. That
Yes.
chapter, you deserve that chapter to be closed and start anew.
Right.
And so I pray that one day you're able to close that chapter of your life. We have
Right.
books in our life. It's like we got
Hmm.
chapters in our lives, and if you
Hmm.
don't close the front chapter, you can't go to the next chapter. I've learned that as I've through the trials that I've been through, that God opens another door. He closes one and opens another. Well, it's just like a chapter of your life. You've got to close those chapters and go on, or else that last chapter is still open and it's still raw and it still hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I pray that one day uh, that you can get that closure, because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy
And
to face
it's
that.
not, because it's mixed emotions,
Yeah,
it's hurt, it's anger, it's
yeah,
resentment.
yeah.
When you ball that into a ball, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Maybe that's something I need to work on. Maybe I just need to go down there and stare at his grave and say, you
Let it
know,
all out. Let it all
out
out how you
loud. Yeah,
feel, and then leave it there.
right.
Leave
That's
it at
exactly what
his
I need to
feet.
do.
Leave it at his feet, and then
Right,
go to your father, your true father, and leave it at his, and then be able to maybe go on through your life. I don't know. I'm not telling you, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just saying what I've been through in my life. I had to
right,
forgive Carl for all the things he did to me in order to appreciate what I
right.
have with Sam. And I've had to close the door. What the shadow? I've had to close the doors to some people in my life because they were bringing heartache to me. It's not easy, and I don't wish hard or evil upon them. I just knew that they had to be out of my life so I could go on and go further, move on with my life, because there's some
Right.
people that are toxic to you.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
and
And
you just have to keep, like I said, I don't never wish anything bad upon them people, but uh, but I just, I have to have them out of my life, you
oh,
know.
what a precious puppy.
Oh Lord, yes,
What
this
kind of
is a
dog is that,
shadow.
Selena?
He's
What kind of dog do you have?
Shih Tzu and Maltese.
Oh, how
Uh,
cute.
he Stevie bought him for me. I had a Shih Tzu that was a service dog for my seizures,
Uh
and
huh.
they're going to train him to recognize my seizures
Uh huh.
and to let Sam know that I'm having one, because
Mm.
live. I've had him on live before, and it's pretty embarrassing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, uh,
But I
I've had
think you've
uh,
been very therapeutic to me as well. I think that was a double edged video here today. So.
yeah. Well,
But anyway, I know Selena has to get ready for an auction. I'll try to drop in, Selena. I never know what I'm going to be up to. So we're going to. I really appreciate you coming on, Selena. I think this will touch the hearts of many people and open up their eyes and know that there is hope
yeah,
in Jesus Christ, because at the end of the day, He's really the only hope we have.
you're
So,
right.
Selena, since I opened in prayer, would you like to close us in prayer, please?
Sure, sure.
Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're coming to you to thank you, Lord. Thank you for everything you do for us daily, to show us your love and your grace, and to give us hope that we will see you again, and for saving our souls to let us know we will see you again. So thank you for everything you do for us. Please be with the people who are sick and that are not sure, and let them know that your presence are always with them. Lord, I ask you to touch all the people that is in this chat, Lord. May you bless their hearts and give them hope and know that you are there. And I just want to ask this in your precious heavenly name. Amen.
Amen. So we're going to go ahead and close. Thank you, each and every one, for being here. Share this out, please, because this is important. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, do so for me. And another important aspect of every channel, leave a comment on this video. That goes so far for the subscriber level, and it's
Yeah.
not so much about, it's getting people in here and letting them hear the good news. That's
Yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we love you guys. You have a nice rest of your afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. We love you guys. Have a
Bye,
great
everybody.
And I'll see you Thursday because I have a jewelry auction. And I'm going to throw a few other things in, but I got to do it. So there's going to be good prices. And I hope to see each and every one of you there Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love you guys. Goodbye. Thank you for
Bye.
coming. Appreciate you. Oh,